ladies, gentlemen, everyone, welcome to Season 2 of Grand Slam Galaxy. I am your very out-of-breath commissioner, Willie or Won't He, here, as always, with my co-caster, Silver Lily. Silver Lily, welcome to Season 2.
Welcome to Season 2, Willie. How are you doing today?
I am very excited to see what happens after a explosive Season 1 and me leaving my fridge open so it's beeping angrily at me. We're all set to go with a new and expanded preseason, aren't we, Silver Lily?
That we are. That's right, it will be 2 games played by each team in the preseason this season, up from the 1 game each team played last season. And we have a bit of a different season format for you, which the preseason will be showing off. Instead of doing 2-game series, each team only playing the other team once, but 2 games in a row for the entire season, we're still playing the same number of games, but those series are more split up. So you have time to see the teams and the matchups evolve as we go through the season.
That's right. We're going to be starting off with that 2-game preseason. And as opposed to having dedicated series, 7 dedicated series, we will now have one-on-one matchups each and every playday that will change as we go. However, before we worry about any of that, we have to tell you about the teams we have, and we're going to do that by heading into each of our games, giving you updates about how these players have evolved, giving you updates about how these teams have evolved, making sure that my headphones are on, making sure that the game didn't crash. Everything that we can. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Slam Galaxy Season 2. To kick off our pre-season, we have a very interesting matchup from 2 returning teams from Season 1, now under new management and now under very, very different rosters. We have the Birdo Bows returning from a 1-13 Season 1 record, and the Eggs returning, no longer the Fire Eggs, as Yoshi has struck out on his own and is facing down one of his previous co-captains on a very strange Bows squad. Hemlock, Silver Lily, I'm going to ask you about the Eggs in just a moment, right after we cover the Bows. The Bows were an interesting team. They were number 7 in the draft, meaning during our snake draft, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. So relatively late in the draft order. Their first 2 draft picks both didn't make it to the final team. King K. and King Boo were the first 2 draft picks for management for this squad, but both of them got traded away for some players that you'll notice on the screen now. Mario making his way onto this team. Birdo making his way onto this team. The Bows were not originally under this management structure, actually, but both of them making them on after some big, heavy plays between the draft and right now. And we're going to see the Bows, how this 3-captain squad operates, when normally, in the past, 2 captains in one team has led to enough stress it is. Now the Bows have Birdo, Mario, and Wario. Surrounded, of course, Statler returns to the Bows roster, and also some remnants of the monsters from last season. Salamander is on this team. Thermite is on this team. Yellow Toad, Yellow Shy Guy, and Yellow Pianta round out that roster, and we're going to have to see how these Bows can operate and whether internal clubhouse politics comes into play, especially with Birdo coming off of a relatively rough season. Now, Silver Lily, what can you tell me about the Yoshi Eggs this season?
Well, the Eggs are a very storied team, Willie. They've been with us since the beginning, since that Winter CPU Classic so many months ago. Um, then for Season 1, joined forces with Mario, fell short of the playoffs just like they fell short of the finals during the CPU Classic. Seems like Yoshi has struck out on his own again, and this time only bringing with a couple old friends. Baby Peach returns to the Eggs roster, was there for the CPU Classic before moving over to the Musicians during Season 1, now back with the Eggs here today, and I actually was mistaken. I thought that Wiggler was with the Eggs during the Classic, but that is not the case.
You want to talk about the Classic, you're going to have to talk about how Birdo and Yoshi were both on the squad during the CPU Winter Classic.
That is very true.
Now, they split up in the first season, and now in the second season, both of them looking to rebound as the two captains that didn't make the playoffs will have to face each other down in their first game. Any thoughts about this matchup?
We have a few former friends of Yoshi on the bows this time. I wonder how Yoshi's feeling about that. Thoughts about the matchup. I think both of these two teams, they've tried to maintain some sort of balance. They've got a bit of a pitching staff, they've got some power behind their bats. You got PD Piranha on one team, Red Critter and Yellow Pianta on the other. You got King Boo on the Eggs with PD Piranha. It's actually their defense that has me intrigued for both of these teams, neither of them having the standout defensive players we've come to see from Season 1, nor any of the rising defensive stars, the ones we've seen make major gains during the off-season. A few players really worked on their outfield throwing arms, worked on their speed, just trying to make themselves good positional players. None of those players are really on either of these teams. So I'm intrigued to see if this kind of older style defensive structure for both of them will work out for them this season.
It also should be pointed out, because I almost forgot to mention it, these squads actually basically swapped names. It used to be, right after the draft, that the team on the left would have been the Eggs and the team on the right would have been the Bows, but the first big trade after the draft was actually the left squad.
Yoshi for Birdo.
Yeah, the left squad giving Yoshi and King Boo over and making them the Eggs, reuniting King Boo with his good friend PD Piranha, and the right squad giving Birdo and Yellow Shy Guy over to the Bows, valuing that positional player in Yellow Shy Guy. The Shy Guys, by the way, working on their batting quite a lot in this offseason. We'll have to see if it comes into play as we get our preseason going. Any closing thoughts before we start this matchup?
I'm really excited to see how both of these captains, both of these squads do this season. They both had promise, but as you know, the Bows performed really poorly last season. They've got things a little bit more under control. They are no longer at the whims of RNGesus. And the Eggs have always been contenders that always fell just a little bit short. So I want to see if these two teams can make it to the playoffs this season.
Well, we'll have to see. The playoff structure itself hasn't changed, but, well, the field certainly has. Ladies and gentlemen, to kick us off on Grand Slam Galaxy Season 2, the Bows visit the Eggs. Making sure, yep, okay. The Bows visit the Eggs in a slam matchup to kick off our preseason. Here on what would have been Game 5 of the finals last season on beautiful Sunset Field Mario Stadium, which I did not have unfortunately due to the timing, we decided to play on Sunset Field. What's up? Oh, also I forgot to do the bit.
It's looking very, very pretty, gorgeous lighting out here today. We don't see many sunset games. Games are normally held at high noon or in the middle of the night, so it's nice to see a bit of a different time for those of you who are more of a fan of afternoon games.
Of course. Also, everyone, welcome to Season 2.
Starting things off in a bit of a familiar manner for these bows, I'm afraid, as they go 1 up, 1 down, and again, as it was Birdo second. Who was the bow's first batter? Well, it'll be 3 up, 3 down, with 3 quick outs from the eggs to the bows. First captain, or first pitcher, starting pitcher, Baby Peach, showing that she's still got it.
Baby Peach, we're going to have to watch her conditioning over this season because while she hasn't exactly managed to stay on the mound very much, her fastball, her curveball get a lot more dangerous over the course of summer training. So we'll have to see how that impacts this game. Definitely a big impact on the game is a little bit of a fire help, interfering with Birdo there at shortstop to reach first base.
And that'll make it so Baby Peach is also the first one on base. Now, this is something I noticed during the setup, but while there are 2 Yoshis, Yellow Yoshi and Captain Yoshi, on the eggs this season, neither of them have taken that very valuable shortstop or second base position that we tend to see Yoshi players take. It seems like the eggs are favoring them at other positions right now rather than hoping to use their tongue catch. While the eggs do find a couple on base, it won't be at the same time. Some good fielding by the bows will shut that inning down. 5 up, 3 down, nobody in.
No, it looks like the bows are placing a little bit of faith in returning favorite in that second base position. Petey Burana, you can't slouch them at shortstop either. That large body really gives you a lot of control of the field, and I respect the eggs going, hey, Yoshis have been known to drop balls in key player positions. We'll have to see whether or not these shortstops and second basemen can deliver when they need to. Wario, the first batter on base for the Bows, though, and he will be advanced to the first batter in the season to safely touch second, as Statler brings that sub-captain into scoring position for Salamander.
Does he count as first batter of the season if it's still in the preseason? The season's officially not exactly started.
Wario would say that it counts, and Salamander drives it deep quickly. Wiggler and King Boo in position in the outfield for that catch, though.
Yeah, good buddy catch from King Boo and Wiggler. This is the first time we have seen those two on the same squad, I believe.
I believe so. I mean, King Boo was actually on the Bows last season, and now he's branching out, and immediately he's going to have to try to shut down his former captain's new team. Thermite, though, still with a batter in scoring position on second base, has to try to get his way past Baby Peach.
You're going to see a few returning Jersey players from last season with different... Ooh, that's a bad error. Item enforced error by King Boo is going to mean that nobody gets out in that mess of a situation. Bases are now loaded for Mario. But I was going to say, you are going to see a few returning Jersey players this season in different colors than they were before, as well as some new faces. This game has only returning players, with fan favorites, and Cookie returning for the Eggs, previously on the winning squad of the Rookies, and Thermite and Statler returning from the Monsters and Bows, respectively. Just like you were talking about, it does not take much to take that baby off the mound.
No, we'll have to see whether conditioning manages to find any sort of grace before the season actually starts. Meanwhile, while Yoshi starts us off, Yellow Pianta, YP, finds his way to first base to keep those bases loaded. And we're back at the top of the order as YT is going to try to bring at least Statler home. 2 outs, though, so an opportunity for Yoshi with a start pitch. The Toad finds it.
Toad will find it. And that'll be another one batted in. 2-0 lead for the Bows with 2 outs in the top of the second.
Well, we'll have to see how much further they're able to go. Berto would love to make a statement starting play here in the preseason with a big opportunity against Yoshi, charges, slams it, but no, King Boo and Wiggler, hero play to catch YP out trying to run home, and while another runner I believe came in there, it will put a stop to a fiery Bose inning.
Berta once again entrusted with the star power by her team, practically tried to carry the Bose on her back by herself last season. And it seems current management saw her efforts and is still giving her that nod.
Well, we'll have to see. PD Piranha, a bit of a pariah last season with a deep left hit, goes well over Yellow Toad. And PD Piranha, while he might not have had the cleanest performance last season, overshadowed almost a little bit by his teammates of Fire Bro and Boomerang Bro, well, he's trying to make his mark in the preseason, scoring the first run for the Eggs.
Blooper stepping up to the plate, I think a little bit of like a, not necessarily a fan favorite, but a fan preferred player in these parts. You always want to watch Blooper do well, and he does right away, stepping onto first base off a nice single to left field. King Boo sends it out to center, where Statler captures it easy.
Blooper might not be a fan favorite, but he will always be one of mine, as Mario, with one out, faces down Wiggler, Mr. One-Sistency, as I tried and failed to make happen in Season 1, but no! Caught out on a pop to right field by Yellow Shy Guy. And
One-Sistency because you give him one pitch and he's out, Willie.
It's the preseason. We don't need to be mean yet. The stats haven't come in. Speaking of returning fan favorites, though, we can welcome Cookie back to the plate as she hits a good single right up the middle to advance Blooper to scoring position on second.
We don't have many mics near the crowd today, but you just know they were out there yelling, "Cookie!" when she stepped up to the plate for the first time.
Yellow Yoshi now. Now the Yoshis, actually not a lot of improvements between this season and last. Still, in my opinion, great positional players if you can use them. They've got a little bit of a better arm, I think. Let me double check our reports from spring training. Regardless, may not be better on the bat, but is good enough to load the bases with 2 outs. Baby Peach, star hit, forces the bobble from Salamander. No movement from Statler, asleep on the wheel, and just like that, a double from Baby Peach brings in 3 runs and gives the Eggs the lead.
A 3 RBI double off that star hit from Baby Peach. She may have stepped off the mound quickly, but she is performing at the plate today.
Yoshi got a better outfield throwing speed. The Yoshis are not actually changed at all. I might swap
Just
that
the
up.
captain Yoshi. Just the classic green Yoshi we all know and love and nobody plays as in Smash Bros, Willie.
Well, he'll hit a ball out to shortstop and close the inning out. Mario a little bit disappointed in letting up that lead now as the Bows start to trail at the top of the third. Yellow Shy Guy, though, again, those Shy Guys have improved their batting just a little bit between seasons. And it's good enough for a single to put a man on for Wario.
I always said the Shy Guys were a little bit of unregarded players. A lot of them were on the Bows last season, and Shy Guys alone does not a good team composition make, as we saw with the Bows' 1-13 record. But I do think, especially with the extra work it seems each and every single one of them has put into batting this season, they were given a little bit more priority across the teams in the draft, and we might see them perform better. What we're not seeing perform better is Statler here, with a nasty double play, taking himself and one of his teammates off the bases and leaving Shy Guy alone at third.
Hey, let's give credit where it's due. PD Piranha on shortstop made that play way more than...
That was a beautiful diving catch.
It was a beautiful diving catch, and it was a beautiful jumping catch from Baby Peach at first base. The Bows given no chances in the top of the third, and just like that, it's the Eggs keeping that lead into the bottom of the third inning.
stepping up and showing off her new light green jersey. Only other player we've ever seen wearing light green was Will Ferrell on the Fire Eggs last season. Got in a few games before being relegated to the bench for the rest of the season. So let's hope can put up a good performance this season for her team.
Well, it'll be a star hit from PD Piranha as he continues to perform. And a POW block, well, it won't impact very much. PD Piranha keeps his confidence at first base, not trusting his running speed quite yet. But still, 2 plate appearances and 2 great hits from what might have been an undervalued player, or at least a looked down upon player after his Season 1 performance. He's doing really well in the preseason so far.
Had put him on fraud watch for a little while, Willie. Though I believe he did eventually escape it late in the season with a good late game showing, late season showing. Put a few homers over to take him off the fraud watch list. There is a player I can say that has never left that list yet, still on it, and I will be keeping my eye on that player this season.
We'll see K-Rool later. But for now,
hey,
Mario.
I wasn't naming names yet.
Hey, I knew. Mario in a bit of a bind now against King Boo, who really wants a powerful hit. 2 strikes now against him with 2 fouls and 1 normal one, but settles for a clean slap up the middle. Statler fields it cleanly. Hell of a throw there, actually, from
Bases loaded, no outs. Wiggler stepping up. If he wants to earn his nickname, now would be a great time to do it. Gonna have item support from Cookie in the back. It's gonna be a boo, but Birdo sucks it in, and instead it's a triple play. Tearing his team's on-base hopes apart in 1 play.
Well, that's
Not
good.
Best preseason start for Wiggler. Let's hope he can improve.
Well, it's only 1 game for right now, and the Bows do face that 2-run deficit heading into the top of the 4th. Hey, 2 runs, not a lot. We've seen that quite a lot last season, but still, a comeback has to be a comeback.
We do have to give credit. That is the danger of Birdo as an infielder, able to suction in balls like that, turn a triple play.
No doubt from a YP. Hits one high, hits one deep, hits one a little bit too slow and a little bit too low, though. And again, Wiggler and King Boo will clean that one up. No one on base for the Bows this inning as they go 3 up, 3 out while they're 2 down.
The classic defense working out pretty good for the Eggs so far, and not bad for the Birdos either. We've really only seen 1 home run attempt that got through, and it was far too high for Yellowtoad to catch.
Cookie landing that ball perfectly in center field just outside of Statler's reach, managing to reach first base. That'll be what prompts Mario to step off the mound, and Wario, another sub-captain, is going to be our first relieving pitcher this game. Immediately trying to strut his stuff with a star pitch. God, that was so
Yellow
slow.
Yoshi's just gonna watch that one.
Yellow
Didn't wanna
Yoshi.
take his swing.
Yellow Yoshi with the reaction speed of an axolotl, though, hits that slider with a clean slap out to left field. And that's Cookie on second in scoring position with no out so far. And it'll be Baby Peach's responsibility to beat her success at the bat last time.
I learned a little something about chemistry between seasons, Willie, and what I was going to say doesn't matter anymore, as the Bows turn a second to short to first triple play. That is the second triple play that team has turned this game.
2 innings, 2 triple plays. That is wild. And we're going to have to keep an eye out as Birdo might prove herself to be one of the best shortstops in the league if she can keep up that level of performance. In the meantime, though, someone needs to start her team's offensive performance. She's gonna watch 2 pitches fly over the plate. 3rd pitch now. Charge, swing, contact, deep, over Wiggler, and that is a solo home run from the captain as Birdo is showing up in the Season 2 preseason.
not the first one of those we've seen from her. In fact, those were most of the points the Bows scored throughout the entirety of last season. Now it's just the fourth one on their scoreboard, bringing their deficit to 1 for the game. Shy Guy to follow up. A good charge hit will send it to the back of the stadium, but late item support won't save him from that out.
Now it's Wario, who actually was the batter I want to keep an eye on. He worked on his bat a little bit over the course of the season, but looks like it won't be good enough for him as Wiggler catches 2 in those center field. Keeps the Bows at only 1 at the top of the 5th. The gap is closed. Is closed a little, but it's not closed yet.
A little. We've still got plenty of baseball to play. We are, in fact, halfway through, as we are now in the bottom of the 5th inning. And stepping up to plate once again.
She'll hit it
She's gonna
cleanly
find
over
a
Salamander.
clean single out to right field there. So, the thing I was trying to say about
Wait for
Synergy
PD
earlier-
Piranha.
No,
Okay.
it has to do with PD Piranha. I learned, and it was a good single off his bat out to left center field,
His bat,
right in that danger zone for a lot of defenses. I have learned that players will also bat better depending on the number of their friends they see on the bases. So PD Piranha actually received a small batting boost from seeing on base.
Huh. That is interesting. Okay.
Unfortunately, Blooper's batting boost from seeing PD Piranha there wasn't enough to save his team from the double play. I think they just like showing off for their friends, Willie.
I mean, honestly, I get it. Now, with Statler facing down Yoshi, weak contact will lead to an easy ground out, as no luck for Statler yet so far this season. But Yoshi has to face down Salamander, I would say an MVP caliber candidate for the Monsters last season. And he'll keep up a good performance with a solid single straight up the middle. We never awarded an MVP last season, did I mean, MVP goes to Hammer Bro.
It goes to Hammer Bro. It
goes-
almost certainly goes to Hammer Bro.
We'll do more extensive awards maybe this season, but for now, Thermite hits a good single of his own that allows Salamander to advance all the way to third base, and just like that, the Eggs might start facing pitching troubles as Yoshi starts to tire at the top of the 6th.
With only one captain tier player on the Eggs, it's a toss-up who might take the mound after Yoshi steps off.
In terms of
Unlike-
ooh,
Ooh.
good snag from But honestly,
Beautiful play from her there.
if you're the Eggs, you're probably hoping for King Boo to step in, right? Like, he's an amazing pitcher. He could very easily
Isn't
take...
that great of a pitcher? I know Boo is a great pitcher, but
To my understanding, King Boo is just as good, if not better, but I'll have to double check. At least according to initial reports, as he hits a great single using that star power. Yeah, he's a pretty good pitcher. Maybe not as good as Boo, but still pretty good.
okay. Well, then that's probably who they're hoping to see, but first they've got to get through Wario on the other team. King Boo putting in a good effort there with that single.
Oh my
and
God.
It's going to be erased. Wiggler hits it over to Birdo once again, turning into another double play.
Can we talk
Cookie
about
seeing
Birdo's
no one
throwing
out
arm?
there to support her, but Salamander fumbles the dive, and Cookie makes it to first base.
Should we talk about Birdo's throwing arm in the infield? Because that is a absolute dagger. Yellow Yoshi will ground out to end the inning, and it's no more points for the Eggs as their lead stays at 1 heading into the 7th.
This is such a perfect opening game for Season 2. Even if it's not actually the opening game, it's a preseason game. But, like, having a close game between teams that have been so connected before, and whose coaching staff and managerial staff, I believe, considered themselves something of rivals last season, previously working for the rookies and the Monsters.
Yeah, believe it or not, that was not on purpose, but we do have Loki's and Monsters staff at least facing off on. This is all completely on accident, but the fact that the Loki's and Monsters staff, their new teams, are facing off on what was supposed to be Game 5 of last season's finals is very much appreciated. Pow block allowing Birdo to safely reach first off of what would have been a double play. Now Yellow Shy Guy, if he can advance the runner and stop the inning from ending, Wario will be coming up after him, so it's a good opportunity for the Bows. Star hit from Shy Guy.
Star hit, but that'll send it just a bit too far. Instead of being a safe hit, it falls harmlessly into the glove of Cookie. She slides back a little, so maybe a little less harmless than I'm saying, but won't do anything for the Bows' score. It will end the inning for them, and Baby Peach steps up, looking to show her stuff again. Instead, what she's showing is a little bit more for Birdo's highlight reel.
Birdo proving to be so key in that position. Now it's Wario against Yoshi, who will just have to take that first strike off a star pitch. No more star power for the Bows. They're really aggressive with that star power today. Salamander, though, fields the ground out from Yoshi for out number 2 of the inning.
Pow block aimed just a little bit too far towards second. If it had been aimed more towards first, it might have stopped the throw to first. Instead, it will just be that out for Yoshi. And Birdo and Salamander have been working to completely shut down the Eggs offense over these last few innings. 4 scoreless in a row now for the Eggs. The Bows will still need to crack their own scoreless streak, though, if they want to be able to win this game.
Well, if there's one player to do it, Wario would be one of them. He worked on his bat a little bit this season and should be a monster, but has proved to fumble it over and over. Pow block, no big deal for King Boo out in right field. Floating means those ground effects will have no effect, and Statler, with no support, will have to try to advance Wario along the base path.
No item support, and that big body of Petey Piranha is going to keep him corralled in, and rather, corralled right out. Wario returns to first too quick for a double play to be turned, and now it is Salamander stepping up, seeing if he can't send something over the wall, or just bring Wario home, or even advance him a little. Pow block support's not gonna amount to much. Wario and Salamander both stay on the first base they take.
Now it's Thermite up here. Friend and Salamander on the base. Maybe that'll help. But a weak hit. Pow block doesn't come in time. The double play is turned as Petey takes one for the team and clears out the Bows in this inning. They're going to have a 1-run deficit at minimum heading into the 9th, but it'll be up to the Eggs in a very dangerous part of their lineup to see if they can keep the damage piled on.
That ball was hit right between Yoshi's legs.
Well, Petey Piranha with a good slap out for a good single to start the inning. Now it's Blooper to try and not turn a double play and try to keep this going for King Boo to capitalize on. I'm a big fan of Blooper, but I acknowledge that his batting is maybe one of his worst parts. Doesn't matter here, though, as a cleanly aimed shot right where it needs to go allows Petey Piranha to go all the way to third.
With 2 singles so far this game, it doesn't seem like batting's that much of a weakness for Blooper, or at least he doesn't seem to consider it one. Maybe he's just getting lucky, or maybe we're going to see something a little more from him this time.
Well,
now King Boo up to the plate, looking to bring someone home, widen the gap once more between the Eggs and the Bows.
Good contact, but Sattler manages to bring that one in after catching it before the pow block is able to take effect. Runners on the corners remain for Mr. Consistency, but no luck so far. Salamander picks him off, and just like that, Wiggler, after a stellar Season 1, this preseason has only managed to get his teammates out. We'll have to see if he can do any better as the Bows, well, their preseason game 1 might end right now if they're not able to start getting some runs on the board. Mario versus Yoshi.
Yoshi started tiring like 4 innings ago, is still here in the 9th. The Bows have to see if they can make him sit down if they want to make anything happen. Mario trying to start it off with a single. That may spell the end of Yoshi's pitching, not quite. He wants to pitch through YP. Oh, wow, I enunciated that weirdly.
Big charge, line drive. No, the dagger from King Boo from the outfield.
What a throwing arm.
That brings that in time to catch Mario. YP will get on, and Yellow Toad will keep it going. Yep, he's on safe. 2 singles. Runner is in scoring position on first and second. Roberto will face down Yoshi, who's been tired for 5 innings and will finally be taken off the mound for King Boo out in right field.
Boo.
That does mean they have no outfield synergy in right field. Opportunity, line drive, caught by Baby Peach, and just like that, the game is over, and the Eggs secure an excellent 4-5 win over the Bows here on Mario Stadium.
You've seen Baby on board. Well, this Baby's on base, and because she's there, you're not, Birdo. That'll be 2 outs to close out the game. Solo outs by Baby Peach.
What a game, and MVP honors, honestly, it's up in the air for me, but no, it's out of the park for Petey Piranha, earning MVP honors for the Eggs on their first showing. So, Silver Lily, how do you feel about this new look Eggs heading into the season?
Well, they definitely have their high spots. Petey Piranha performed well. Blooper, I'd say, performed above expectation. And Baby Peach, a good first inning pitcher, didn't carry it much further than that, but did have a good batting performance today. On the other hand, they have a couple of low spots. Mainly just Wiggler. Captain Yoshi, don't ignore the MVP scoring there. Did not get any strikeouts, but had an excellent pitching performance for like 8 innings.
Excellent pitching performance indeed, and low scores across the board for the Bows. They'll have to look out for some better play, some better organization heading into the next games. They're going to have to find a little bit of extra power, especially after trading away King K. Rool. Meanwhile, the Eggs, we'll have to see if Petey Piranha can keep up this batting. Obviously, when he was on the Monarchs last season, our biggest complaint about the Monarchs was that when they fell apart, if they weren't feeling the batting, they fell apart. And now, Petey Piranha, excellent game 1, doesn't necessarily mean anything for his future games. Eyes on the young plant to see what he can do going forward. All right, let's... What's up?
I will say one more highlight for the Eggs that I can say is they have a lot of field position flexibility with a lot of these players. I think a lot of them can play a few different positions, so they have plenty of time to figure out what works for them and where they want to put them.
That is very, very true. Now, we'll have to talk about our next picks. The Bows and the Eggs, of course. The Bows being pick number 7 in the draft. The Eggs actually being pick number 2 in the initial draft. Moving on to our second game of the day, we got a couple... Wait, hang on. I want to make sure, because I want to make sure that I don't pick... I have a pick for... Okay. Making sure that I don't actually load in the last game, because that's going to be a banger. But, our second game for the day, the returning Monarchs facing a terrifying Monsters team. Now, Silver Lily, what can you tell me about this returning Monarchs squad?
So the Monarchs are back, the champions of the CPU Classic, the Winter CPU Classic, and playoff players, a playoff team from the last season didn't make it past the first round, fell to the Spitballs in the first round of the playoffs. Frequent contenders, but they have been left adrift this season without 3 of their biggest stars. Petey Piranha Fire Bro, and Boomerang Bro have all left for other teams, leaving only the Toad squad left to pick up the pieces. Toad, Toadette, Toadsworth, and Princess Toadstool captain Princess Peach. They have done the best they could to pick up new players in order to fill the losses of those amazing star players, the ones that carried the team or let it down, depending on how they were feeling on the day-to-day. As you were talking about near the end of that last game, who they've picked up to fill the space? Well, they've picked up a blue Noki for the outfielding, good at just sealing up those fly balls and sending them right back to the infield. Noki's outfield throwing arms. I don't think we saw a single Noki see play last season. Now they've worked on their throwing arms. They've tried to make a few more friends in the league, and we are seeing at least one get fielded today. They've picked up Blue Pianta, fan favorite and team favorite player, has never been on the same team from one series to the next. Was on the Wilds in the CPU Classic, was on the Flowers for Season 1, now over to the Monarchs in Season 2. And we have a Shy Guy, one of the friends that the Nokis made, Blue Shy Guy, and looking to just fill in a little bit of the blue theming here, we have Narissa, New Jersey player Narissa, to take up third base. They don't have the same batting threat they had before. You cannot match two bros and a PD Piranha with like any squad except maybe the one the Season 1 rookies put together. The Season 1 rookies no longer a team. As you might be able to see in something that I think Willie is going to get to, the two Bowsers have joined a father-son team together, and the rookies have been absorbed into the monsters. Some of those players went their own ways.
Of course. Regardless, we're going to have to keep a close eye on...
Sorry, was I going too long?
No. I was so excited to talk about Peach because her as a pitcher has changed up so much, becoming ever deadlier with a slow curveball inspired by her mentor Toadsworth and that devastating fastball speed that's gotten even better. What else is there left to say about the Monarchs?
Just, Willie, that I think we're going to have to see if they can forge a new identity for themselves coming into this Season 2 without three of their biggest stars. I think they can do it. They've got talent on that field, but we'll have to see if they can make that talent work for them.
Well, if you want to talk about big slugging potential, the first thing you need to talk about is this new look Monsters. Last season, we had the Monsters versus the Rookies as our two final standing teams before the Rookies won the playoffs and won Grand Slam Galaxy Season 1 by going 3-1 over the Monsters in the final. Now, Bowser Jr. has actually stepped over to join his father's squad, and just like that, this Monsters team is looking terrifying. Plenty of new outfielders. Goomba moving out from the defensive coordinator position into that outfield. Paratroopa and Koopa both slotting into that outfield as well to help. Bowser, of course, one of the best bats in the league, now supported by one of the best relieving pitchers in the league of Bowser Jr. Two Bones on the team, Dark Bones and Blue Dry Bones as support. And then finally, Iwata makes his return in Season 2, acting as a catcher and cornerstone of this Monsters squad. Trading in all that red chemistry they had last time after the Spitballs lead coach for Season 1 took over as their lead coach. Now, just a devastating, devious squad looking to do some damage. What are your thoughts as the Monarchs, led by the same coach, and the Monsters, led by the Spitballs coach, head into their preseason game?
Well, I'm a little bit sorry, Willie, but my attention has been captured by what I think might have been a roster submission error. There is limited synergy in that outfield. Now, there is a composition of those 3 outfielders that would have synergy throughout, but Koopa and Paratroopa would have to switch places. Goomba does not have chemistry with Paratroopa. Goomba has chemistry with Koopa. That I have double checked, and that is the roster that was submitted. But if so, that could leave a devastating hole in their starting placements.
We're getting feedback now, or querying for feedback for the Monsters coaching staff, as that is a very, very good thing to point out. In the meantime, while we get that all sorted out, it's a big question as to which of these 2 squads will come out on top. The Monarchs now fully embracing a defensive posturing. I'm very curious and very excited to see how Blue Noki performs in their first season in the league. And let's not forget Blue Critter. It was the Flowers offense when they needed it. Blue Pianta, also a fine hitter. And the slapping potential of this Monarch squad cannot be understated. But I think we can agree that we should expect fewer Grand Slams coming from them. The Monsters, however, with big hitters, Bowser always cannot be put down as a player.
I guess he can't be overestimated.
No, he can't.
We are still hoping to hear word from the Monsters manager, but without
Set a 30-second
any
timer.
word coming in, we may just have to start the game.
The players are starting. Hang on.
Are we going to get a last-second position change? The manager wants to make it happen. They've got to speak up now.
Wait. We're getting word from the manager from the Monsters, and we have gotten the go-ahead. So, we're ready to start game number 2 of the preseason. The Monarchs versus the Monsters. The Monsters, with home field advantage, have chosen to take us to Wario City. So, if the
please I was gonna say, Monsters fans, please offer up thanks to the booth ghost haunting my commentator's booth, who pointed out the lack of chemistry and the improper composition there.
Yeah, that would have been pretty devastating. But if the Monarchs want to prove themselves as a defensive team, well, they're going to have to do it on Wario City. Meanwhile, first out of the game goes right to Darkbones, who makes a great catch on a really speedy hit from Blue Critter, as Narissa steps up to the plate.
The captain for the Monarchs chose to ban away Daisy Cruiser and Yoshi Park, so I think they were trying to limit the slugging potential of this Monsters team, but Wario City is always so dangerous to go to up against Bowser and the Bones here.
Well, we'll have to see who, if anyone, is able to capitalize on that, as Blue Shy Guy, again, one of those better Shy Guy hitters, well, he grounds out, and just like that, as much as I try to start talking sugar, the Monarchs, top of the first, no results, and the Monsters will get their chance, starting off with my favorite player, Goomba, is at the plate, and immediately grounds out.
Goomba is off the field.
You did your best, buddy. Come back next. I got you. Paratroopa now, facing down Toadsworth with that devious, slow pitch that can throw off so many batters.
Toadsworth definitely throws a slow curveball. Paratroopa found it this time, had to get used to that timing, didn't charge it up, just slapped it down center for a Galaxy League classic single. It's Koopa up now.
Well, he's got a friend on base, charges up and hits good contact, but Toadette and Blue Noki out in the field ready to get that one up, though. Paratrooper, though, makes it all the way at third base off that single. And just like that, it's runners on the corners for the champion, returning Bowser Jr.
Team has chosen to entrust Bowser Jr. with the star player power. See if he can make a good performance out of it. One of the many captains that really worked on his pitching between seasons, but there is star player Blue Critter, formerly of the Flowers, classic defensive prowess, shutting that play down basically by himself, turning it into a double play. Blue Noki stepping up. First Noki we've seen play since the CPU Classic.
Damn, has it really been that long?
It has been that long. The only other Noki we've seen played for the Eggs back in the Winter Classic. A Pianta bunt to start things off.
Immediately hit by the own green shell.
Fire. Some friendly fire. What is happening?
Believe I must have nudged something accidentally. Don't worry about it. But Blue Toad forces a bobble off Bowser Jr. The power block stuns Koopa, and that means that we have runners on the corners.
The Pianta bunt did admittedly advance Noki, so we do have a runner in scoring position for Toadette. If she can hit a good single that doesn't go straight to Bowser Jr. and get turned into a double play, it might have mattered. But that is not what she hit.
Bowser Jr. again with a deceivingly quick throw to first base. We're going to have to keep an eye on captains playing those shortstop positions and the lasers they can throw, but well, first, Iwata is going to have to make his return to the league, swapping from the white to the black jersey. With a bang! No, with a whimper for right now, as he hits the ball straight to Toadette for the first out of the bottom of the second.
And a little bit I do have to point out here, believe it or not, Darkbones does not have chemistry with players in black jerseys. Darkbones considers itself more of a red fan. That's not something you might expect. Everyone else just goes for color coordination. Darkbones, he wants the jersey to match the color of its eyes.
Meanwhile, returning runner-up Bowser hits it deep. Toadette and Blue Noki are not able to get anywhere close to that one. And the first runs of the game go to an ex-captain as Bowser knocks that one clear out of the park. That'll start to mark Toadsworth as being tired. No worries, he's got a new and improved Peach there to take over for him whenever he should need it. Blue Pianta, though, will make sure that Magic Koopa doesn't get on base. And we'll have 2 outs now here at the bottom of the second. Monarchs, pressure is on to make sure no further damage is done by Blue Drybones. Extra pressure, allowing Peach to step. Is her hair the wrong color? Do you see that?
Looking a little more honey blonde today. I wonder if she's done something with it.
Well, meanwhile, Blue Drybones with a clean slap out for a single to keep pressure on the Monarchs. Peach with new pitching dues this season. We'll have to see what she can do with it. A devastating fastball, a much slower curveball. But no, charging through. Regardless.
And that'll be it.
Good catch by Goomba. Good hit by Goomba. Immediately caught out by Blue Pianta. That'll put the Monsters up 2-0 as Magic Koopa faces down Toadsworth.
Toadsworth has been known to hit a good ball every now and then, but that was not it. Hitting it right to the pitcher, who recovered it for the out. We don't see that too often. Now Captain Peach stepping up, and yeah, that hair really is just looking a little more like honey colored.
I don't know what's going on there, and I'm going to hope that it doesn't matter. As Bowser makes the diving play to catch the message sent by Peach. 2 outs now against the Monarchs as Blue Critter steps back up to the plate.
Own business, Billy. isn't just her own business is her batting performance, though, which has not improved that much from last season so far. We are going to see star player Blue Critter be able to make it to base off of what almost was a home run. Instead, it's just a very long single, and it'll be new face Narissa hitting an out over to Bowser Jr. at shortstop.
It is, in fact, a beautiful day for the Monarchs, but not on the scoreboard. 0-2 score line now, and Peach is going to have to continue to attempt to shut down these Monsters players as, well, Paratroopa, new to the league this season, it's a pop fly out to left field.
Paratroopa had actually been drafted for teams before, but had never seen play in either the Winter CPU Classic or Season 1. So we are seeing, an absolutely essentially new to the league face from that player.
Well, Bowser Jr. will have to see if he can capitalize off Koopa reaching base. A good hit out to center field will allow the shelled man to reach second. Just like that, runner in scoring position for Iwata versus Peach. Sees the curve, slaps it, manages to snag it just past Blue Pianta. The outfield of Wario City helps out. Green Koopa heading home, close play.
That Koopa was out. That ball reached Shy Guy before I, as a commentator, am not allowed to object to the umpire's call.
It's not a forced out because there wasn't there was technically a chance to run back to third if Koopa wanted it.
I suppose that is true. So by forcing Shy Guy off the plate, it prevented the out. Still, we got to see the power of that Noki outfield throwing arm. If it weren't for it being such a close play, I think that player was out. Or at least stuck in a jam.
Well, still
Darkbone's hitting another good single to bring a player in. Gap has widened to 4 runs from these monsters.
Responsibility. Oh no, that's another deep hit from Bowser.
That's the danger of bringing the monsters to Wario City. Well, I suppose the monsters brought you here, Monarchs, and you are 7 points down for it, and possibly down 1 captain from the mound. We'll have to see how much longer she can last up there.
Yep, at least Magic Koopa, not much of a batting threat, immediately thrown out by Blue Pianta, but now it'll be BDB, Blue Dry Bones, up versus the Tyrant Captain. Good slap out to right field, fielded by Blue Nogi. Alright, low threat targets on the board for Peach to try to take advantage of it. And Goomba will let her do just that as he grounds out to the second baseman of Blue Critter. And the Monsters put up a monstrous inning to get a 7-0 scoreline heading into the 4th inning. Sorry, 0-7.
It's going to start off with a Shy Guy slap, but slaps it at right the wrong angle over to Bowser Jr., who has been making some excellent infield plays this game. It'll now be Blue Noki's turn, one of the first players to really try and make something happen for the Monarchs. Shut down again by Bowser Jr. Magic Koopa starting to tire, and that could be good news for the Monarchs, but they've got 2 captains to get through after this, and that will be sending the Magic Koopa to the infield once they're done. Blue Pianta able to get a good solid hit. Does the boo come out? It does. Blue Pianta won't take advantage of that. He was already on first. He is running to second.
Took him a while to realize. I think he was just so happy that he forgot to keep running. But Blue Toad, who has always been an excellent slap hitter, puts a little bit of juice behind it, but hits it foul. Opportunity to put a runner onto third base, but there's 2 outs right now. Any mistake here is the end. No mistakes, just a clean bouncing hit out to left field to... Oh my god, after a fielding error from Goomba, allowed Blue Pianta to touch home and Blue Toad to make it all the way to second.
That's what the Monarchs really want to start seeing. It's only 1 point when they have 7 total to make up, but it is a hole that they were able to find in the defense of the Monsters, and the Monsters are going to react quickly, send Bowser Jr., another player whose pitching has improved in the offseason, to the mound. I believe his curveball got a little bit more speed to it, Willie?
Curveball a little bit deadlier, of course, allows him to throw a strike right past Toadette. Number 1 draft pick for the Monarchs, actually. She'll watch 2 paintballs pass her by. No more star power available for the Monsters, though. And a slider, contact, caught by Magic Koopa to end the inning. It's the start of a comeback, but it's a deep, deep hole to dig yourself out of, as the Monarchs make a butter stick out of a donut. Put the score at 1-7.
I have never heard that phrase before.
I've heard a 1 score be referred to as a butter stick. And
okay.
now, Peach at least forces out Paratroopa with Blue Critter throwing it aggressively to Toadsworth at first. But as she continues to tire and it's only the bottom of the 4th, well, we'll have to see who the Monarchs' backup pitching options are. Good for now as Koopa hits it right to Blue Pianta for a pop-out and Bowser Jr. takes to the plate.
Bowser Jr. charges up, sends it down center, but Toadette will be in position right away for from the Monarchs' point of view, blessed 3 up, 3 down inning from the Monsters. That'll give the Monarchs another chance to try and make up some of this lead. Toadsworth charging up right away, scaring Bowser Jr. a little bit. He pitches a ball, and Toadsworth, excellent plate discipline, watches them both come through. This one will be an underhand. We're not playing softball here, buddy. And Toadsworth will find that one out to center for a single. Now, Princess Toadstool up to the plate.
Batter number 9, and definitely weakest, or one of the weakest batters on her own squad. Her slap caught out by Magic Koopa very cleanly, and it's a slow throw, but it's good for an out, as that new shortstop turns the double play and quiets the Monsters' offense.
It's Blue Critter stepping up next. Once again, seeing a baseline devoid of other players. Going to slap one high and far. We're probably going to see a buddy jump here, but it might be too high. It is not. Koopa makes the jump with the aid of Paratroopa. And Monarch's hopes are shut down once more.
6 runs to make up 4 innings to do it. Not impossible, but not at this pace. And it definitely will be more than 6, as Bowser will be returning to the plate at least this inning. Iwata, though, will start us off, though. Good slap picked up by Blue Critter for the first out.
Dark Bones to follow that up. We'll see if he can get on base. It sends it out to center left field. It's fielded by a Toad, but by the time he's thrown it in, Dark Bones is already on base.
Bowser has managed to hit a home run every single at-bat out so far. Multi-home run homers off deep hits. It's a line drive, and it goes right over Toadette for another 2-run homer. And revenge is on the mind of the Koopa King, as he is making a statement batting performance here in the preseason.
Kind of batting performance we haven't seen since the regular season musicians gave star power to Sub-Captain Donkey Kong. And this is Bowser doing it without.
Well,
Now, it is Wario City, admittedly. But it's still a very impressive performance.
Blue Pianta brought up, and that's not a great sign for the Monarchs, as Magic Koopa gets on base for, I believe, the first time this game, of a good single up the center. Blue Drybones, who could always be a dangerous batter if you don't keep him in check. I could have sworn he was going to get hit by that one, damn. Charges, misses, I thought that was a strikeout. I didn't keep track of the count. But the next slap finds its target and sends one out to the right, with Noki disabled due to a sudden storm drain overflow. That's runners on the corners for the Monsters as Goomba steps to the plate.
Blue Dry Bones BDB able to make it to first once more, and that puts runners on the corners for Goomba, who's going to charge it up and hit it, and it's high and far, but still in, which makes it an easy out. That is enough, though, without a good outfield throwing arm, to allow Magic Koopa to come home.
Sack fly for Goomba, always the team player, and just like that, the difference between Monarchs and Monsters would be 1 if we were playing in binary. Unfortunately for them, though, despite Peach turning the last out of the inning, they have 4 innings to turn a 9-run deficit around, as Narissa will be the first batter for the Monarchs at the top of the 6th.
Let's see if she can get something done here. Has yet to really make her mark as a Jersey player on the league. Boo support will not be enough to help her here. Paratroopa moves into position right away. It wasn't a bad hit, but it wasn't a good one.
Blue Shy Guy versus Bowser Jr. now. Big slider, good contact. That's at least a single. Koopa and Paratroopa do manage to grab it in time to avoid any further damage, and Blue Noki, the new player, will have to prove their stuff here in this one-out position against a dangerous fastball from Bowser Jr. Contact. Straight up the middle, avoids Bowser's glove.
And that's 2 on now for Blue Pianta.
Don't bunt. Don't bunt. Okay.
We're not seeing it. Are you trying to traumatize me? Oh, perfect, beautiful positioning is going to be disruptive, and it gives the bomb time to go off. Bomb mattered. What had been a bases loaded situation turns into runners on the corners with 1 home. Beautiful play by both Blue Pianta with that excellent ball positioning off that hit, and whoever was supporting him, Blue Toad on the cannon.
Now it'll be Blue Toad, who the Toads are known to be excellent slap hitters, consistent, but Magic Koopa reels that one in from across the field and turns the double play. What could have been an easy Monarchs run safely brought in with a run on first and second, instead turns into the end of their inning. Bottom of the 6th now, and the Monarchs are down 2-10.
Was a good slap, but you gotta give players like Magic Koopa a wider berth on those hits. Too close to his face, and he reels it right in. Koopa able to get to second base off that Boo hit.
Very fast legs on Koopa, the quick Blue Critter, though. Oh my god, that infield arm is a
I'm
cannon.
always just so baffled by that arm. It happens in a blink.
Makes me mildly confused / concerned, but I'll double check stuff later. Now Iwata up against Blue
Always
Pianta's.
been like that, Willie.
Has it? Well, now Iwata bouncing ball manages to find the single, and Toadet's slow throw in from the outfield will allow plenty of time for Koopa to run it home. 2-11 scoreline as Dark Bones hits it deep. Toadette and Blue Toad are in position. Easy catch for the outfield, and Iwata is kept honest at first base. Alright, if you're me, you're just wondering from the Monarchs, how well can you perform under this type of pressure? It is preseason. Bowser's having just an insane showing, which no doubt is, well, half the reason this team is up 2-11 is just the future MVP of this game destroying everything in his path. Now Blue Pianta actually shutting him down pretty well. Grounder caught by Narissa at third base, and for the first time, well, the Monsters are kept to 1. in the 6th. I was going to say the first time since the start of the game, but then I didn't even realize that they managed to go quiet 2 innings ago. Still, Bowser being shut down is quite a big deal for the Monarchs against these monsters.
That it is, Willie. We're going to see one of our first star pitches, not our first because that honor went to Yoshi in the Eggs Bows game, but one of our first star pitches used by a captain tier player. With Bowser Jr. there, funnily enough, Toadette finds it for a single up the center. Looks like Bowser Jr. is not too happy about that one. Gonna try and intimidate her over at first base, but it'll be another single up the center, but not good enough to get Toadette over to second.
She's just a little bit too slow on that one, and now it's up to the Captain Peach, who has not had much luck so far. She will drive it deep, but with Koopa and Paratroopa there to catch it, Toadsworth will have to stay at first. And there's 2 outs now against the Monarchs. It's the top of the batting order. Blue Critter will be up next, but well, Koopa and Paratroopa were vibrating with excitement to make that play, make that catch, and take out the Monarch herself.
Now it's Blue Critter up, 1 on this time. He's got star power, been able to make slugging work out in his prior career. The team really wants him to put one over right here. It's the right stadium for it. It's right out to Goomba in left field. Blue Critter having a bit of a rough offensive showing. Still keeping it tight on defense, but needs a little bit more oomph in that club when he's on the plate.
The question we now look to the Monarchs to answer is, well, when you need points on the board, who steps up? Meanwhile, though, they got to keep up this defense, which has definitely tightened up in the second half of this game now, as Blue Drybones caught out in center field by Toadette. Magic Koopa did manage a single, but is kept honest at first, and Goomba is going for a bunt.
Ball seemed like it passed just under the bat there. Goomba's gonna try it again. That's an out at first. Did advance Magic Koopa to second in time for Paratroopa to step up. We have seen some decent hits and good speed off these players before, and like that, we will see one up the center to put runners on the corners for Koopa.
Definite opportunity. Blue Pianta acting really well here as a backup pitcher, but with Blue Critter snagging that ball out, he will stop the Monsters from trying to put points up on the board late. And the Monarchs, well, 9 runs, 2 innings to do it. It'll have to be a slap-tastic game from them as Narissa, well, charges up, brings it straight to Magic Koopa at shortstop for the first out of the inning.
This has been a tough infield for these Monarchs to crack. I think against some other infield players, or maybe just with a couple more bobbles like that, we would have seen more bases, more points from these Monarchs, but Bowser Jr. and Magic Koopa especially have been on top of it this game. Very impressive defensive showing from these players, but Shy Guy and Noki right on the base.
That bobble from Bowser is definitely forgivable considering his batting prowess, but now Noki, Shy Guy, not Blue Pianta, not able to get to first base in time as that cannon of an arm by Paratroopa in outfield. Easy enough to bring him in. But Blue Toad
advance the runners, but it's not gonna be enough to score even 1 point, as neither he nor Blue Toad had the legs to make it to first in the face of this Monsters defense.
Bowser Jr.
Monstrous
now.
defense, if you will.
Let's be honest with ourselves here. Pending a miracle from the Monarchs, probably the last offensive showing from the Monsters we'll see this game, at least in the bottom of the 8th, as they have that comfortable 9-run lead. Bowser Jr. cleanly hits a single. Iwata following him up. Caught by Toadsworth, but there's no way for the man to tag out Bowser Jr. at first. So we'll stay to 1 out for right now as Darkbones comes to the plate.
The sheer power of that hit from Iwata. Driving Toadsworth off the base was the only thing that saved Bowser Jr. from getting out. Now a long bomb by Dark Bones, and the Toads aren't able to make it in time. It is a 2-run home run that just squeaks over the wall.
Okay, I need to defend the Toads here. I think they thought that was staying inside the park.
I think they did, Willie. I think they did. Unfortunately, it means our first double-digit lead by a team in this preseason.
Bowser
Going to only count it as the preseason for now.
Bowser with a line drive. This will be the first time he touches a base in active play. Magic Koopa with a deep pop fly. Well, that'll be another out now as Bowser's forced to retreat back to first.
No items to disrupt that one. Will be nice for the Monarchs, but they still have to try and get these now 2 players off base as BDB hits one up the center.
Alright, last chance for them. BDB on first, Bowser on second, Goomba. Weak hit, can't evade Blue Critter. That'll be the last out for the Monsters offensively. As now, well, you're just up to the Monarchs. They've got batter 7, 8, 9 next in the batting order, and with Peach at the end of that, you gotta hope that there's at least more than a 3-up, 3-out situation for them to not end the first preseason game down 11 runs. Toadette, contact, caught out by Bowser at second base. Toadsworth will miss the first pitch now. Tries his luck on the second, grounds out again to Bowser at second base. So now, with 2 outs, 11-run deficit.
Up to the captain. Can she make it happen for her team? No, she will not, and that is the game. A jumping catch by Magic Koopa will shut it down. An 11-run lead seals up the game between the top and bottom of the 9th. And the Monsters will take it 13-2.
Well, you gotta give full credit to Bowser for that MVP caliber performance. No doubt that that was well earned, with 3 home runs bringing his team great success. For the Monarchs, you gotta wonder who on this team will bring that offensive power that they very obviously still need to figure out. Obviously, when we take a look at the scoreboard, besides Bowser, who brought in how many points by himself this game? Like 7, 8? Obviously without
a lot of them, Lily.
Obviously without those amazing hits from Bowser, much closer game, so some compensation, and the Monarchs still have a little bit of time to figure it out, as they've got another preseason game up this Tuesday, when they will have the home field advantage playing against the Diddy Kong Bananas. We'll get to them in a minute.
Don't think that's their official name this season, Willie.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, the Monsters run away with it, and it's a home field advantage all the way through the first 2 games of this preseason. We'll have to take a peek and see how well that home game advantage comes in our next 2 games. Any comments about the performances of either of these 2 teams?
I don't think there's much more we can say about the Monsters with that amazing performance by Bowser. Excellent performance by both of the Bones and by Koopa, both on defense and batting. I think that's one of the first times I've ever seen running points assigned.
Maybe he stole a base at some point and we didn't notice.
Yeah, maybe. The Monarchs, I do really feel like this team is better than the showing they gave today. I will say that completely and honestly. They are lacking their stars from the previous season, but they have some solid players on there. I think this was just a rough matchup, rough stadium, rusty from the beginning of the season? I don't know. But I think they can do it.
Well, we'll have to see what magic the Monarchs can pull around moving forward. But despite the fact that the Monarchs, which were the 6th pick in the draft, fell to the Monsters, which were the 5th pick in the draft, we now have to move on to game number 3. As a new look Waluigi Spitballs, or I'm so sorry. What is this team's name?
I am required by contract to inform you that they are the Dante's Infernos.
The Dante's Infernos take on a new, powerful Daisy's Flowers. I'm going to pass you the Dante's Infernos in just a second, but first I'll talk about the Daisy's Flowers, home team for this game. Last time, when we talked about the Flowers, we talked about their inconsistency at the bat. Who was it that really brought in home runs when they needed it? They had Blue Critter, but he could be on the weaker side. Well, big trade. I mentioned before that the Bows, their coaching staff drafted K-Will twice and traded him away both times. Last night was when the Flowers traded away Mario to pick up the big bat. King K-Will comes onto this Flowers squad and brings as much offensive damage as you could possibly ask for, pending, of course, that we are allowed to take the man off of fraud watch. Defensively, of course, we still got Daisy Luigi, Mr. Consistency, always a great slap hitter when you need him, and Daisy, one of, I would argue, the best hitters in the league when given the right chance to do it. Meanwhile, that outfield looking very dangerous. 2 Yoshis and Baby Daisy to lock it in. Speed over everything. Hopefully will help them out there. Critter, of course, a great secondary batter, which I honestly can't say that they had last season. Blue Critter was their primary batter. Now they've got Critter as a secondary batter. Got to be looking better for their offensive chances. Finally, on first and third base, we have, let me check my notes here. I don't have to check my notes. How could I forget these players' names? On first base, we have Lou Easy. That's L-O-O space E-Z. And then on third base, we have J-C. That's J-A-Y space S-E-A. Okay, that's the Flowers. Now tell me about these new team coming into the lead, the Dante's Infernos.
So, with the change in management between seasons, the league had to say goodbye to fan favorite player and team captain for the Musicians, Hatsune Miku. She is very busy this season and might not come back. For the rest of the league, we will have to see how she is doing. I wish her luck with her music career. I hope that goes well for her. In the management changes that followed this, I was approached to commentate for a new team that was being put together. I was approached by a company who wanted somebody experienced in the commentator's booth to really help guide the team a little bit. I told them, I'm a commentator, not a manager, and they went, shut up, we're paying you. So I am now the home commentator for the Dante's Infernos. Ignore the name Spitballs. Once again, filing error. They didn't get it in time. I think someone got fired for it.
It should not be that hard to actually replace that PNG, but we'll continue. Tell me more about the Dante's Infernos as a team and what power they bring.
So, Dante's Infernos have brought in a couple of powerhouses from last season, namely Firebro, formerly of the Monarchs, their first round pick, and Drybones, their second round pick. Drybones, along with Boo, were second and third. They were first in the draft, so in the Snake draft, they got the first pick, then it got to the end, 8th pick twice, all the way back to first, and then they picked twice. Now, Drybones saw some play last season, I believe was on the Spitballs at the time. Or, no, the regular Drybones was actually on the Bows. There was a bones on the spitballs, but it was not regular dry bones.
If you're...
As we have seen in our previous game, fantastic batting players, great sluggers, don't have a lot else going for them. Then you also see Boo, who was the pitcher for second place team in the league and currently looking very dominant Monsters, as well as former captain Waluigi, who led the team to the playoffs. Bit of a batter, bit of a slap batter, bit of a good pitcher, does a few different things, not any of them for very long. Also, newer face Shy Guy, previously, I believe, but this particular Shy Guy I don't think saw play, as well as the 4 jersey players you will be seeing this season. You will never see fewer than 2 of them at a time. I'm required by contract to say this. Team captain Dante, standing in for manager Dante, who cannot be here on the field today. They just found another guy named Dante and put him in the slot. He looks a little familiar, but I can't place him.
Mhm.
As well as Don Quixote in the purple jersey over on third base. Heathcliff in a white jersey up in left field. And Otis in a white jersey up in center field.
This
Now,
is not
those
sponsored, by the
four will
way.
kind of
This is not sponsored, by the way. Grand
It
Slam
is not
Galaxy
sponsored.
has no sponsors
is
right
not
now.
sponsored.
This is
We
not
are
at all
not
related to
sponsored.
anything.
I am required by the Galaxy League to inform you we are not sponsored.
If you ever look at any of these players and you say to themselves, these look very similar to the employees of one famous Limbus company, that is completely fake, and you should be a disgrace.
Please ignore that. They're just baseball players.
They're
I
just
am
baseball
required by
players.
contract to ask you to ignore this.
Okay. Well, we've gone over the new look flowers with their great new power edition of King K. Rool coming off that trade with the bows. We've gone over the inside joke that nobody except for the manager of the Dante's Infernos will get, as well as probably the manager for one of our teams next game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 of the preseason as these Infernos look to burn away the flower field on Yoshi Park. You good, Slime?
Oh, I'm fine.
Well, we'll have to see how Luigi performs on the mound here, facing off against Boo, who immediately, great slap hit. Boo, you think you'd be happy to be on Yoshi Park nighttime? Famous play from last season. I would say the play of the season last season happened on this field under Boo's bat when a certain ball got knocked out to left field, got bobbled, and just happened to land over the fence, and apparently that counts.
And we're immediately seeing a couple of good slaps from Boo and Shy Guy in order to put themselves on base right away, followed by a bunt from team captain Dante. He will not be building up his style meter with that one as he advances the runners, but fails to make it to first base. However, notorious slugger Fire Bro, Sans Star Power, stepping up to the plate.
Still lots of power, and on Yoshi Park, that's all you need as it bounces off the train an inch away from the face of baby Daisy. It's good for a single, but it's more importantly than that, good enough to bring Boo home. And just like that, the scoring box is opened in just the first inning as the Infernos draw first blood.
Heathcliff wielding his signature bat Revenge, which has been painted over in white for some reason.
Okay. You need a moment?
I can stop.
No.
I can stop. I'll get fined for it, but I can stop.
You're having fun. That's what's important.
And he is going to make another single. Now Otis stepping up. Going to send that ball far and right into the hands of Red Yoshi, but some shell support from Dry Bones is going to allow Shy Guy to take home base. And we are going to get another run driven in. 2 outs and a slugger up with 2 on. Drybones watches the first.
Big hit out to center field. Baby Daisy manages to get her glove on that one, and we're back to loaded bases now with 2 outs again as Don Quixote will step up to the plate, face down Luigi, and a good slap will lead to a rotating inner field as that single drives home the runner on third base, drives the runner on second to third, drives the runner on first to second, and let me check my notes, drives her to first.
Both sluggers and all 4 Jersey players are looking to play small ball right now, and it looks like former captain Waluigi, not sub-captain, just former captain, is going to be furthering that with an excellent start pitch opportunity. Drives the fielders insane, keeps the bases loaded. We have bat the round already. It's the top of the first.
Luigi is not a bad pitcher. This is just an incredible starting offensive showing from the Infernos as Boo also hits another single, and just like that, run number 5 is driven in small ball style as Shy Guy steps up to the plate. Luigi wants this one over.
Up. And will find a fair ball out to left field. Red Yoshi doesn't get to it in time. That's another single. And Luigi has already been chased off by this torrent of hits from the Infernos.
Well, if you wanted a closer game than last one, we might still well get it. This is just an incredible opening inning, but it keeps going as Luigi misses his dive. Chemistry in the outfield catches Boo trying to run home, and finally, the Infernos get punished, and the Flowers come away after taking 7 runs of damage.
It's now the going preseason. To see how they perform on defense. I know as the commentator that defense was something of a worry for the management. They were just really hoping to get innings like that first one, where they get a lot of runs and hope that their scoring is enough. Because if you look at their defense in the outfield, it's 2 Me's and a Drybones. It's looking a little rough. However, star slugger Firebro, not the actual star player, but fantastic slugger Firebro, also an amazing shortstop, will reel in that hit by Luigi and turn a double play. Now it's up to Luigi to see if he can make it back on base.
No, that is the power of a great heritage pitcher like Boo, cleaning up the offense from the Flowers and sending us into the second. Now, the Spitballs, we'll have to see whether that first inning was a miracle or what we should come to expect from them. Firebro, line drive out to left field. Well, it's good for a single as he settles in.
I am required by contract to remind you that they are the Dante's Infernos.
Did I call them the Spitballs?
That you did, Willie.
That will we remember how long it took
it
for me to get used to the musicians. Now Critter.
We nicknamed them the Wild Musicians about halfway through the season because we kept forgetting.
Now the Critter at shortstop turns a double play. Excellent diving catch and then just enough speed on his throw to catch out Fireball at first base. Cleans the rounds for the Flowers. Luigi again just too short of a dive to make that catch, but allow Otis to reach first base. Drybones now. Chance to advance the runner. Charge hit.
A good charge hit. Drybones is not a home run hitter, but he is still a great slugger. Train interference will not occur today, but it's still good enough for a clean double. That puts Otis on third. Will she see herself home to Ithaca? No, she will not. Don Quixote stopping that in its tracks with a weak hit out to third, thrown over to first to end the inning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special segment we like to call Fraud Watch. As well, first we've got Critter against Boo. Critter from the winning team of the Rookies last season, and proves it with an excellently aimed line drive out to left field for a great single hit. But King K. Rool, the man who is supposed to provide the flower power. Weak contact, immediately grounds out to Shy Guy at the second base position. And that double play is turned to clear the bases of the Flowers.
Fraud Watch remains in place, and K. Rool has not struck his name from the list. Red Yoshi's turn to try and make something happen, but that will be a fly out to Dry Bones.
Always possibility for it to just be one bad hit. We've seen weak hits from players before, but if K-Will wants to earn that level of respect, he's going to have to show up. A little bit of a semi-charge from Waluigi sends it deep to Baby Daisy with no synergy. That'll be a quick out for the ex-captain, not sub-captain, not sub-captain.
Oh, no, there isn't synergy. It snaps on Waluigi. In order to field this, while Waluigi does have synergy with 2 different players on the team, in order to field this particular squad, management chose to make the decision to not give Waluigi any sort of item support.
Remind me how many different variations the Infernos prepared ahead of the preseason?
5 of them, Willie.
5 different field variations and batting orders, yes. Now, it's been quiet ever since the Infernos' debut inning where they ran the field. Perhaps just a unfortunate series of events. I mean, baseball is a game of odds, and sometimes...
Well, don't forget, Luigi is a good pitcher, Daisy is a great one, and that's who the Infernos are facing down now. Of course, the Flowers have yet to crack Boo.
Well, a little bit of assistance from the POW block as Baby Daisy will reach first, and the Daisy chain is back in effect as is it the Daisy chain if it's JC?
She looks like a Daisy.
And that's a
bobble by Shy Guy on that diving catch is gonna let 2 links of the Daisy chain make it to base. I think that is formerly Daisy, who just had her name clarified between seasons. Don Quixote making a good catch at third, chooses not to take the out at third, but turn it over to second so they could get 2 quick outs for the double play. Some smart fielding by Don Quixote to give up the glory for someone else.
Well, now it's the Flowers put back onto defense, and a bobble from Baby Daisy, a rare one. It's now underneath the train, and Captain Dante is allowed to go all the way to second from what should have been a clean catch for an out. Firebro now facing down a star pitch. Does he have the discipline to let it fly? No. But a star hit will blast straight through it. And just like that, another fielding error from Baby Daisy. Her and Red Yoshi will field it eventually, but 2 bad errors from the baby in center field. Just like that. Well, another run up on the board for the Infernos.
Heathcliff will find first off a fielder's choice as Pink Yoshi decides to turn the out at second instead and send Firebro back to the dugout. Dugout? Dugout. Bullpen is pitchers. I got confused for a second. I know baseball, I swear. But Otis will put runners on the corners for Dry Bones. We're seeing a charge up, but it will be a strike. A wicked fastball, catching him unaware. And some excellent defensive play off that slap to turn a double play and send both Otis and Heathcliff back to the dugout and end the inning for the Infernos.
Just like that. Mr. Consistency back up to the plate. Eventually, well, the Flowers are going to have to start cracking that scoreboard. It's 8-0 now. And a good slap hit and a field POW block will allow Mr. Consistency to reach first base. Now it's Lou Easy.
The Piranha Plant ate the POW block.
I think it just
deflected it.
I think it just kind of bounced off the pipe. It's a little hard to tell. Lou Easy hits one deep to right field, but that will fly foul before it can do any damage. Statement may be 2 Boo on the mound, but the slap and Boo assistance lets it fly deep. Luigi advances all the way to third, and into runners on the corners with no outs as Critter steps up to the plate. Slap hit out to right field. Not caught by Dry Bones. Just like that. Loaded bases. All right. Photo watch might be taken off of the man as King K. Rool faces down Boo. Watches the first pitch.
One.
Second pitch. Charge. Contact. Line drive. Caught by Dry Bones. Oh, a couple more degrees off, and that would have been a great line drive right when the team needed it. But now, Red Yoshi hits it right to Firebro, and despite danger, the Flowers aren't able to convert off a double play.
Don Quixote stepping up to the plate, first batter of the top of the 5th inning for the Infernos. She's gonna get a star pitch from Daisy right away, but excellent banana support from former captain Waluigi will disrupt the fielding, causing a dive from Luigi and knocking out Critter, who he was attempting to send it to. Don Quixote gets on first, and here is Waluigi himself now to see if he can't continue a rally. He's going to get another star pitch. He'll slap it. There's no item support on this one. This one's just going to be an easy out.
I still think that Daisy has one of the best star pitches in the league for it being one of the only ones that can actually genuinely shut down otherwise impossible home run hits. But Boo, with power block support, another well-aimed shot. Don Quixote all the way from first to home, and the Infernos increase this run as it's a 9-0 scoreline. Contact from Shy Guy out to center field. That'll put runners in the corners with only one out now, and pressure is on for, we didn't even note, backup pitcher Critter has come up to the mound.
The Infernos have caused no end of grief for this Flowers defense, and two of the, I will say, some of the best pitching captains in the league now have had to step off. Luigi and Daisy both taken off the mound as Boo comes in on a very close play that wasn't called a close play. Train interference isn't going to be enough. The ball was too high. And baby Daisy, with the tenacity to dust herself off and get back under it. Firebro just barely unable to clear the park. Will send us to the bottom of the 5th.
Now Pink Yoshi, as Boo is still doing a great job holding on in the bottom of the 5th. Again, eventually the Flowers will have to put on some damage. You don't want to see the same issue they had last season of trying to find their offensive stars. Pink Yoshi, well, definitely won't be that this season as he strikes out to Boo, and that's the first strikeout of Season 2.
Seeing it in the preseason when it took us forever to see it in Season 1. Baby Daisy wants to find a charge hit here. Notable that Boo has yet to even tire. That'll be a foul. That would have been a home run were it not for those pesky foul lines. And now a long hit by Baby Daisy. I want to say underappreciated batter. I think the Flowers appreciate her very much, but before they picked her up, started really using her, underappreciated batter.
Well, meanwhile, JC will try to do what she can facing down Boo. Runner on second. Good line drive, well aimed. I think that should be, yes, that'll be the first run for the Flowers as a double brings Baby Daisy to home plate.
And when you can't rely on anyone else, the Flowers leave it up to the Daisy chain to get themselves their first point of this game. Leave a Daisy or a JC on.
Now it's up to the captain with a wonderful line drive, but not good enough. Otis catches that cleanly in center field. And now Mr. Consistency will be the only other option for the Flowers as a slap caught by Shy Guy at the second base position. The Flowers touch the scoreboard, but it looks like it's only a graze as we are heading into the 6th inning with a 10-1 scoreline.
the Flowers have an uphill battle. We are almost certainly going to see our first ninth inning, bottom of the ninth inning of the preseason. Heathcliff trying to bat it out of the park, shut down by a Yoshi and a baby, but very close. We don't often see that from Jersey players.
Shut down by a Yoshi and a baby is very funny. Otis now with her opportunity following Heathcliff's attempt. Critter, again, doing a very admirable job trying to be a relieving pitcher here with a hell of a fastball, but contact made, good for a single as Otis knocks it up the center.
Tri-Bones up now to be followed by Don Quixote. There will be no item support on this one, which would have been a good sign for Captain Daisy.
Please land before the train comes. Please land before the train comes. Okay.
It did, in fact, land before the train came. We did not have to see a baby get hit by a train again today.
No, we only had to hear a Yoshi get run over. Now Don Quixote, with only a runner on first, 2 outs, trying to face down Critter. Knocks it just above the head of Luigi. The ball will bounce off the train and allow for relatively easy fielding, but that single puts runners on the corners. And
if they want to lengthen their lead, it would be a good time for a star hit from former Captain Waluigi.
Exactly what I was thinking.
He's just going to let his star power speak for him today. He does have the star power nod from management.
Well, that'll be good enough to put a runner on first, a runner on second, and Boo drills it right up the middle. Boo, power block interference doesn't mean much as Critter starts to get frustrated. He's need to find his way out of a bases loaded situation against a shy guy who's been working on his batting arm. Good hit, right aimed, true. Another little bit of a fielding fumble from Baby Daisy. But
and a
relief.
Running fumble from Boo will cause the end of the inning.
I need to also note that Boo was the one who caused the end of the inning in the first inning after a little bit of a running fumble. Now, I mean, it's 13-1, so only so much grace can be given in these situations, but it's 13-1 and the Spitballs are back on defense. Incredible catch from Firebro to stop what looked like a pretty good hit from Luigi.
Give me just a second, Willie. My screen is frozen for reasons I definitely didn't cause myself, but we're good now. As it seems a couple of outs have occurred in my absence.
Well, big, deep hit from K. Rool, but without enough power behind it. Heathcliff and Otis don't jump.
Oh, they must have thought it was staying in.
And
does that take him off, or do we count that one?
I don't know whether...
I want to chalk that up to their bad teamwork more than his batting arm.
Well, now that'll be what finally shows a little bit of hesitation from that excellent base player of Boo. And Red Yoshi will have to step to the plate now as the Flowers enter a weaker part of the batting order. And proven by that, Red Yoshi grounds out very quickly to Shy Guy.
Shy Guy doesn't have very fast... it doesn't move very quickly, but has one heck of an arm when it's time to turn the ball over. That will be the end of Critter's pitching game, as King K. Rool, hoping to prove he's not a fraud this time through pitching, is going to immediately give a single up the center to Captain Dante.
We should talk about the fact that every single diving catch Luigi has gone for, he's missed. But now Firebro.
Hey, Willie, he is Mr. Consistency.
Okay,
it wouldn't be consistent if he got it half the time.
That's fair. Deep hit stays inside the park from Firebro, and with no item support, that's an easy catch from Baby Daisy. Returns it back to the infield before Dante is even able to think about running for second. Now Heathcliff up, charges. Kind of weak contact though, and the bobble from Daisy actually almost works out in her favor.
I think that may have been better for them. Maybe she could have turned it for a double play faster than that. But the bobble guaranteed them at least one out. because it meant she didn't get she didn't end up dropping the ball when she got hit by the shell.
And Baby Daisy continues to remain in that very, very key center field position, and, well, the Infernos are shut down in the 7th. Now, the Flowers still have a long, long way to go, being down 11 points, but, well, a lot of this damage from the Infernos does stand off one devastating inning. Maybe God will grace the Flowers, or maybe, that 11 runs will be way too much to stand up for as Boo finally tires and is taken off the mound, and Waluigi's brought in to pitch for the Infernos.
Now, he does have star power, is known as a good pitcher. Insane fastball. He's been working on that one in the offseason, I believe. Sends it right. Oh, was caught, but still turned into an out. And then my stream froze for a second, and I didn't see that. But the replay shows me JC just slapping it right over to Shy Guy. A little bit of a dive from Shy Guy to end the inning. We go into the top of the 8th with Dry Bones up. King K. Rool already starting to tire on the mound. He's got a bit of a fastball, but he doesn't have stamina in him. That star pitch will be turned into an out. Luigi finally hits the diving catch. Didn't miss that one. He's celebrating it. He knows. But that's it for K. Rool. So I'm keeping him on the pitcher fraud watch list too.
Well, we'll have to see how this goes.
I suppose, to his credit, none of the Infernos made it to base while he was pitching. He just only pitched to 3 of them.
Fair enough. Well, now it's up to Don Quixote. And finally, Luigi makes a great diving catch. 2 up, 2 out. Baby Daisy's proving very well, but we didn't even comment on it. Now that Baby Daisy is on the mound.
No synergy in the outfield.
Now, I don't think that the Flowers have had to make a jumping catch yet against the Spitballs. Much more of a small ball team that we've seen. But slap from Waluigi. Put a man on first. Of course, now Boo. Chance. We've seen home runs from him on this park before. Yes, I will bring that up literally every single time Blue plays on Yoshi Park night. I do not care. Do not at me. I am shameless. And Daisy makes the diving catch to turn the 3rd out. And despite potential weakness with Kale out in center field, it's the Flowers keeping it quiet on the Infernos for right now. They still have to start putting points up on the board, and with 2 innings left and 11 runs down, we'll have to see what they can do.
There's no John Cena out there to help Boo this time.
No, there's a reason we don't see him in the division anymore. Now, Daisy grounds out to Shy Guy at the second base position, and it'll be up to Mr. Consistency to start off this field's offense. The POW block, though, doesn't stop Firebro in time, and both captains ground out to the infield. Luigi, we'll have to see what he's able to do against this excellent pitching defense from Waluigi. Nothing.
Killer pitching from Waluigi, and that will kill their hopes for this inning. With a little help from Firebro, with his very good shortstop play, reeling it in with his fire catch. And it is Shy Guy to start the Infernos off in the top of the 9th, hoping to stack on just a few more points if they can. Shy Guy's stacking another single onto its record.
Baby Daisy caught sweating early now. We'll have to try to get the captain of Dante out relatively quickly if she can. Weak hit, but the shell drives through the entire team and allows the runner to reach first safely.
Some good item play. It was a very close thing for Captain Dante. Firebro calls his shot in advance. His shot's just a single, but it was an impressive one with how quickly he started charging that. Heathcliff up now.
Slider from Baby Daisy gives her the first strike. She's got no outs and loaded bases. If she wants to get out of this one, Daisy catching, and the triple play as the pop is caught by Daisy, turned over to Luigi at second base for out number 2, and then he fires it to first for out number 3. And just like that, well, a little bit of credit to the Flowers. They keep the Infernos silent in the last third of the game.
Captain Daisy making up for the mistakes of her youth, but has not been able to make up for the mistakes of her batting order so far. King K. Rool, he's desperate for it. It's in the park. He gets a single. We gotta give him that one. It was a fair single.
We gotta give him that one. Red Yoshi, meanwhile, caught out in the outfield by Heathcliff, and the Flowers are onto the last lifeline as they've got 1 out left before they're forced to walk off the field. Pink Yoshi knocks it right to Red. Shy Guy for the 3rd out, and the Infernos capture a 13-2 lead and get the honor of the tying, I suppose, the Monsters win. Neither the Monarchs nor the Flowers having much luck in this preseason start as they both fall 13-2.
And an excellent showing by Shy Guy for the MVP. Consistent batting from a consistent player gets him on base every single time he's up at bat. Normally you see a slugger there. I think this is the first time we've seen it given to small ball.
Fair credit to the little man, as Shy Guy gets the first Shy Guy MVP ever in Grand Slam Galaxy. That little bit of extra help from just a little bit of extra fielding expertise in that shortstop position really made the difference. All right, Silver Lily, what do we talk about with the Infernos and the Flowers heading out of this game?
Well, for as much shit as I give K. Rool, and he is deservedly on Fraud Watch, he still had the best batting performance of his team according to the official scorers. You can say that much for him.
Doesn't sound like you want to give him that much, though.
No, not really. The Daisies, as usual, really doing their best to hold the team together. Baby Daisy in the outfield, Daisy on the mound for as long as she had it, then in the infield when she didn't. She honestly did a great job, even if the fielding doesn't reflect it that much. And JC having one of the better batting performances of her team. It's kind of that green core and the Yoshi doubles that have to try and
provide the
pick
defensive
things
backbone.
back up. Yeah, pick things back up. Give the team back a little bit more, support.
Well, that is, of course, only preseason game number 1, and I will have a close look on the Flowers and a close look on the Spitballs. I have an optimistic view that this should just be the start for the Flowers, and I believe that they can bring it back and perform much, much better later in the season. Of course, the Infernos, with an incredible 7-run opening, is really what stole the show this game.
And it was a small ball opening, too. There wasn't a single home run hit by the Infernos for the entire game. 13 points. No home runs.
I want to point something out. Despite who am I missing here? Heathcliff hiding perfectly behind Dante's large head and inflated ego. Like, who do you look at on this team and you go, yeah, they're a Grand Slam quality hitter. Firebro, none of his hits cleared the park of this game. Drybones, I love Drybones, but he hasn't done that well. We'll have to see whether or not the Infernos are able to keep up their offensive power later, as a good preseason game number 1 will hopefully give them a little bit of, shine on their shoes heading into the next game where they will be home field advantage. For now, we are heading to the final game of the preseason. Last year, drama in the clubhouse. So much trouble between Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Frustration, yelling, hurt egos, hurt plays. Despite Diddy Kong being benched for almost the entire season, the Wild still couldn't turn it around and bowed out of the playoffs in the semifinals. No, sorry, in the quarterfinals. After what some people are calling a throw. I would disagree with those sentiments. But now, out for revenge, well, Diddy Kong has formed his own squad. And now he's set to take on Donkey Kong in our first game of the preseason. I'm going to throw it over to you in a second to talk about Diddy's Monkeys, the first time we've seen this squad in the league. For now, I'm going to talk about the Wilds. Now, Donkey Kong, previously on a team led by Miku, as she has had to exit for her music career. We wish her, of course, the best. Him and Tato have remained on, but he is, I believe, taken over full captain roles and kept a lot of that core Kong squad around. Surprisingly enough, and perhaps most impressively, well, the Grand Slam hitting captain has recruited arguably the best bat in the league, easily the MVP of the finals last season, Hammerbro, joins. And just like that, the Wilds have an insane batting core as Donkey Kong, Funky Kong, and Hammerbro all stare down opposing pitchers with a death sentence glare. Other than that, Reggie has joined the team, Gray Shy Guy has found his way over, and, well, Baby DK has also found his way onto this team over from the Fire Eggs last season. It should be noted, this is Fire Eggs management picking up this team. The only player that apparently impressed them enough to keep in the draft was Baby DK. Now, meanwhile, can you tell me about this new Monkeys squad?
Well, I can tell you one thing. The team is referring to itself as the Diddy Kong's Revenge, and revenge is exactly what Diddy Kong is out for this season. Though, with the team he's chosen to do it, there are a few within the league who have started referring to it as Diddy Kong's bench warmers. Diddy Kong himself benched for most of the season. Monty Mole Paragoomba benched for most of the season after one, or was it two, disastrous games for the rookies. They've really been working on their skills, their fielding and pitching in between seasons. But, I mean, they had a really bad showing to start, so they're gonna have to make it work. Other than Boomerang Bro and Critter, Brown Critter, the only familiar face to the league will be Eggman, former Spitballs player, once again benched partway through the season, I do believe. And then it's Paratroopa. Well, Paratroopas are new to the league, as we talked about with our Monsters versus Monarchs game. Green Shy Guy. I don't know if we even saw Green Shy Guy. I don't think Green Shy Guy ever saw play. We saw some Shy Guys, but Green wasn't one of them. And then, forgotten Vocaloid player Neru, trying to take a little bit of her own revenge on Tato for being relegated to the position of public spokesperson, which really she did not feel was best fit for her, considering she communicates mainly through her cell phone.
Just to be
in Morse code.
Just to be clear for me, yes, of course, we all know the song. We all love Neru. We've all seen the Shen Comics comic. Neru was on the bench for the entire season for the Musicians last season, correct?
Correct.
Incredible. Well, we'll have to see the Wilds welcome to the league properly, as they've got an incredible offensive core that they hope will take them to smooth sailing victories. Meanwhile, the Monkeys bench warmers will clarify the name. Hang on, let me use
Revenge.
the name.
They are insisting on the Diddy Kong's revenge, and they want us to take them very seriously.
Well, we'll see how seriously we have to take the revenge as new coaching staff comes in to lead the revenge, and the Fire Eggs coaching staff comes in to lead the Wilds. We'll have to see whose team comes out on top in the last game of our preseason, as the Revenge start off on a old band pick for Donkey Kong at least. They head over to the playroom, as Monty Mole will be our starting pitcher for this game. Funky Kong, obviously, not a bat to sneeze at, as he quickly drills it right over Paragoomba's head for the first single of the game. And immediately, Donkey Kong, no star power on him, but still a scary bat in his own right, watches the first strike.
Fastball from Monty Mole, and Monty Mole is known as a long haul pitcher. The Revenge are really counting on the dimensions of this team and the defensive improvements by their team members in order to make this one happen.
We should talk about the fact that Donkey Kong hits a long fly out to right field, and Diddy Kong waves his teammates off just so that he can make sure to get the catch instantly. Psychological warfare under effect as Hammer Bro now. Runner on first, but weak contact lets Brown Critter and Boomerang Bro turn the easy double play. You want to talk about the Revenge and where their danger comes from? I would argue that Brown Critter, previously seen on the championship squad of the Rookies, and Boomerang Bro, previously seen on the Monarchs as one of their key hitters, will easily be whatever they can bring from it. Now Tiny Kong on the mound.
And Tiny Kong off the or on the mound. Paragoomba off the plate with that hit over to Hammer Bro. Hammer Bro didn't even need to throw the hammer on that one. Eggman stepping up to try and take his revenge. He's just kind of mad at the world in general, but Donkey Kong will be the one to shut that one down. A little bit of a diving catch there from the big monkey himself. Well, gorilla. Technically not a monkey. Nehru had been in a black jersey for her entire duration on the Musicians. Not that you would have known it, because as we said, she was on the bench the whole time. Looking to make something happen, but all she manages is a line drive right to Dixie Kong.
Just like that, neither team able to put anything up early offensively. Honestly, I wouldn't view this as too bad for either teams. If you want to start throwing shade, maybe start throwing it at the Wilds, who are supposed to be the offensive powerhouse. But now, Tato brought out as, well, she just hits the ball straight to Paragoomba in center field.
Baby DK having a chance to make something happen was left off the Musicians squad last season after playing for the Wilds in the Winter Classic, now back with the rest of the DK crew other than Diddy. Doesn't manage to make anything happen. The dimensions of this field really working against this slugging team here. Especially, and I do have to point it out, that was an impressive hit from Baby DK. I think starting to grow into that banana bat a little bit more in this offseason.
He did work a little bit. His batting is a little bit improved from last season we saw in training. Now, Monty Mole with 3 balls, 2 strikes. Loaded count is not what we're used to seeing in Grand Slam Galaxy, but finally forces out the weak hit from Tiny Kong. And again, the Wilds kept quiet though too.
Not the best pitcher, but he gets the job done, and I think that's just what the Revenge are hoping for from Monty. A long hit by Brown Critter, but it's going to fall harmlessly into the gloves of Funky Kong. And it's Green Shy Guy that steps up now. See if he can't make it on base. And make it on base he will do with a clean slap out to center. the Shy Guys really making cases for themselves as batting players in Season 2.
Now it's
Any team looking to do small ball wants them on their squad.
Now it's Monty Mole, who, with a little bit of shell assistance, isn't able to get onto base, but allows Green Shy Guy to advance to second. And Diddy Kong, with a chance to start his revenge tour. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs on the board, but the weak slap caught by DK, the pow block, more than enough to interfere. That allowed the revenge to get runners on the corners for Boomerang Bro. It will have to be the player to bring in the first point.
Do you think Diddy Kong hit it right to DK only to knock him down with a pow block on purpose?
Well, it's technically Boomerang Bro that threw the pow block, but who's to say? Unfortunately, Boomerang Bro's line drive caught out by the first base player, and just like that, we have a scoreless game heading into the top of the third. Monty Mole continuing his pretty good pitching performance so far, keeping the Wild very quiet as Reggie tries to knock it up the middle, but Brown Critter makes an excellent dive and catch to save the play.
You gotta wonder what kind of dirt Diddy's got on Brown Critter to get him to play for him this season.
Listen, all's fair in love and baseball. And what team was Brown Critter on last season? The
rookies.
The rookies, yeah. So
this was a champion player, a not just playoff steer, but championship player. Now playing for a team known colloquially as the Benchwarmers.
Well, we'll have to take a peek. Maybe Brown could have felt underappreciated in that very key 8th batter slot, bringing up the back of the batting performance. It is true that when we talk about the rookies, we usually talk about the Miz, we usually talk about Hammerbow, we even talk about Green Critter. Maybe not given enough appreciation in that championship season. We'll have to get an interview with him later, ask him about it. Meanwhile, though, Tiny Kong keeps up an impressive defensive pitching performance. 2 quick outs, and Eggman also with a weak hit thrown out by Hammerbow, and we keep no points on the board heading into the 4th inning.
I have to say, you cannot. The critters are not to be underestimated, Willie. All 4 critters made it to playoffs. The only time with a team with a critter lost was to another team with a critter. The team that won the championship, the only team with 2 critters.
Well, now a good line drive from Funky Kong will put a runner on base for the Wilds, and DK can never be underestimated here. Despite Monty Mole's good performance so far, that one will run foul on the first pitch. Second pitch now from Monty Mole. Curveball slammed out. Paragoomba and Paratroopa have to make the catch, but they're 2 of the players with some of the best hops in the league and easily make the catch to deny a home run opportunity from Donkey Kong. I don't know why I said his name like that.
One of the only outfields that could have done it. One of the only stadiums that could have let him do it.
That was I agree on the stadium part, but that was a relatively low home run hit. I feel like most outfields.
Relatively low. Okay.
It was just high enough to clear the fence out there, and I feel like most outfields could make that catch if they went for it, instead of assuming that it'll stay inside. Talking about power and trouble, though, Hammerbow knocks it out to the right field, and Diddy Kong this time is the player to make the catch and keep Funky Kong stuck on first.
This is the emphasis on defense I was talking about with the revenge. We're seeing the outfield shutting down these big bats. The only reason Funky was able to reach base was because he kept it relatively contained. You get too greedy and the revenge will cut you down.
Alright, responsibility falls to Tato to, well, show that off. But no, she'll knock it right to Brown Critter at shortstop, and just like that, the revenge keep the Wilds quiet through at least the top of the 4th. But, well, if they want to start running away with this game, they have to get a lead at some point, and it'll fall to Neru to start the offense off in the bottom of the 4th.
A little bit of a ground ball there, but good fire thrown by, who was it? It was Brown Critter, known enemy of Donkey Kong. Does do enough to bring Nehru to first.
I forgot that the Critters were enemies of Donkey Kong's. Deep hit by Brown Critter, slams it away. That's high, that's out of here, and just like that, the championship player makes his mark in this matchup. 2-0 lead given to the Revenge, and the tour begins.
Brown Critter throws up his fist. Hey, Donkey Kong, let me show you what you couldn't do. Throws it over the fences. Outfield for the Wilds, unable to make it in time.
There was done without any outs even done in the inning. Now it's Green Shy Guy, who with a good hit to the outfield does get caught out by Dixie Kong. And Monty Mole, the pitcher who's proving his stuff, now faces down a 2-strike count from Tiny Kong. Has to try to get on base for Captain Diddy. Does maybe, this could be close. He's safe.
That is a fast Mole. Look at those legs. I don't know very many other players who could have made it in that time.
Well, if Diddy Kong really wants to put insult to injury, he'll have to try to get on base and set up the ever consequential Boomerang Bro. Outfield interference from the Chain Chomp, one of the first times we've seen it in the league. This is looking very interesting.
Strike thrown by Tiny Kong with a star pitch. She's trying to get her team out of this situation.
Oh my god.
But that is a long ball by Hammer Bro. It will be caught by Funky Kong. It's giving Monty Mole time to run home.
Sack fly in the end from Boomerang Bro. May not have cleared the fence, but more than enough to secure another point on the board, and the Revenge extend their lead to 3 with 1 out left for them in this inning.
Tiny Kong starting to tire. Almost certainly going to be Donkey Kong that takes her place. In fact, it will be. It will be. That's their only captain tier player. Paratroopa hitting the single up the center this time. Tiny Kong's really asking her team for a little bit more defensive support. She's thrown another star pitch. Paragoomba watches it go.
Slaps the next one, and Donkey Kong will snag that. Finally get the 3rd out of the inning. Listen, 3 runs is not a big lead, but No.
On Bowser Jr.'s Playhouse, it's not a small one either.
It's a difficult stadium to try to get points on the board, and Baby DK shows off a stronger, firmer banana bat in that play, hitting a good single out to right field. Tiny Kong, the pitcher who is starting to have a little bit of trouble, well, starts with a little bit of offensive output. Now we've got a runner on first, a runner on second.
They've seen that the slugging isn't working out for them. They're going to try a little small ball here. 2 singles in a row brings up Reggie. Up next is Tiny Kong, but she will see play. A quick jump and turn around from the infield will make it a double play first, so she's only seeing Tiny Kong on base. It is Dixie Kong that's up. Accidentally mixed them up for a moment. You think I'd be better because I was their former commentator.
Well, it's a good slap from Dixie Kong, as now it's a runner on first, a runner on second. Gray Shy Guy, if he wants to reach the top of the batting order, and all the heavy sluggers will have to get past Monty Mole. Slaps it, but a catch by Brown Critter denies the opportunity and ends the inning. It's the rookies maintaining a very, very good 3-run lead. Sorry, the rookies. Oh my god. The Revenge maintaining a 3-run lead, as finally the Wild swap Tiny Kong off the mound, move it to that second base position, and it's the man himself, Donkey Kong. He had to try to put some damage on the offense.
The late hammer throw from Hammer Bro takes too long to get the ball back to him and gives the bomb time to blow up.
Amazing line drive from Neru. If they don't get this in, the bomb disrupts Funky Kong as well. Baby DK hesitates on the throw because everyone's disabled from another chain chomp. Bad fielding play allows Neru to reach second, and after an unfortunate series of events, look at this chain chomp knock out Tiny Kong and leave Baby DK with nowhere to throw. Tiny Kong doesn't get up in time, and just like that, it's another run brought in for the revenge.
Donkey Kong trying to make something happen with that barrel throw does manage an out, but only because Critter powered through it just a little too hard.
Green Shy
And
Guy.
a Green Shy Guy hitting it right out to Funky Kong as well. Funky Kong in center field is not a position we normally see him, but he's getting some work done for them right now. Another barrel throw from DK. Good discipline from Monty Mole to just accept the strike on that one. You know he's mad because he's running through him. But oh no, it hit Reggie. I thought it had hit a runner, but no, it hit Reggie, and Monty Mole's got the legs to make that work with shell support. Now, Captain v Captain, former friend turned vicious enemy, and
Cousins.
the Revenge are taking their revenge in every way possible. Chain Chomp, you didn't need to do that to Dixie.
Unfortunately, that throw from Hammer Bro, powerful enough to catch Diddy Kong, just being a little bit too greedy on the play, catching him at second and ending the inning. So despite bringing in another runner home, Diddy Kong also ends his own team's inning and keeps their run to only 5. Now though, the Wilds.
Good chemistry there from Paragoomba and Paratroopa to avoid those bananas and still get the out on Funky Kong.
Weak contact from Donkey Kong will lead to him getting out pretty quickly. 2 outs now as Monty Mole is proving to be an excellent pitcher, shutting down the Wild's capabilities right now. And, well, now it's up to Hammerbow to try to break the streak. Good deep hit, but Paragoomba and Paratroopa are in position, and, yep, they've got that. That was a high hit.
The slugging from the Wilds have been completely shut down so far in this game. We're heading into, what, the top of the 7th? No, bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th. Got a little bit ahead of myself. 6 scoreless from the Wilds, and the Revenge are running away with it.
It is the playroom, but you still
playroom.
expect more from a team with both DK and Hammer Bro on it. Now, Boomerang Bro hits a deep hit, but this will stay in the field. There's no chemistry. Easy catch by Funky Kong.
And now it is Paratroopa up at bat. We've actually seen some decent batting by him this game. Is gonna take the strike on that star pitch. You gotta watch out, DK. Throwing more of those, I believe, will tire you out fast. Paratroopa finds the next hit off of a fastball and makes it all the way to first. And now it's Paragoomba who's gonna get his team out in a double play. Great defensive player so far. Hasn't done much on the batting, but I think that's what the team was expecting of him.
You gotta expect not a lot from the Wilds this inning as they enter the back half of their batting potential. Boomerang Bro will shut down Tato, make sure that she doesn't get much off an attempted hit up center right. Now Monty Mole against Baby DK. Good strike on the first pitch. Second pitch. Hasn't even started to tire, it should be noted. Baby DK will manage to reach first base, though, off a pretty decent ground ball. And Tiny Kong now. Well, if she wants to have runners on the bases as danger is in the... If she wants to have runners on the bases as the top of the order is reached, a single is what she would need, and... Well, runner on first, runner on second, Monty Mole starting to tire, batter number 8. Sorry, I thought Reggie was going to be batter number 9. But Reggie now, Another ground ball, this one easily fielded by Boomerang Bro, and despite a little bit of danger, without any power hitters to take advantage of it, the Wilds fall and go scoreless in the top of the 7th.
And I just have to point out, we still haven't even seen Diddy himself pitch yet. Heard from scouts this season that he put a lot of work into his pitching just to show the Wilds that he deserved to be on that team. He deserved to line jump. Which was the accusation that Donkey Kong was throwing at him in the clubhouse. And he still hasn't even gotten the chance to pitch. His starting pitcher, Monty Mole, has been enough to shut the Wilds down.
It's a good sign for the Revenge this series, but now, with Donkey Kong in the bottom of the 7th, stepping on the gas as this pitcher, he's caught out the first 2 so easily. A start pitch here would be devastating against Brown Critter. It's a fastball inside, though, that simply catches the strikeout. No emotion on his face as he heads back to the dugout. But still, all the pressure is on the I almost called them the musicians out of habit. All the pressure is on the Wilds. The rookies have a 5-run lead. You have 2 batting chances left, and this is one of them. Dixie Kong and Gray Shy Guy need to get on base, but Dixie Kong is caught out by a ground out to Boomerang Bro. Now Gray Shy Guy is the last batter before the dangerous top of the order. He'll need to get on base. He really needs to get on base. There's nothing else to say. He needs this hit. Hit.
He's gonna go for a star hit, but Paratroopa's in the way. Got a good grip on it. It slides him back. Monty Mole still pitching through the tiredness. Maybe trying for a complete game here. There's 4 batters between him and a complete game. 4 outs, 2 strikes. It's a nice hit from Funky Kong. A little bit of a bobble from Diddy. And a shell to block Paragoomba from recovering it. But I don't think either of them mattered. Still 4 outs between Monty Mole and a complete game. Donkey Kong is trying to keep that extended, but a foul isn't going to do it. Another charge hit. It's deep, it's far. The outfield's in position. They've got a high jump. They make the catch. And what could have been a 2-run home run, what the Wilds were praying would be a 2-run home run, is just another out.
Undervalued players maybe, and that Paragoomba and Paratroopa proving so much defensive utility this game. Now, well, the Wilds will only have one last chance to try to make up this game after being shut down so thoroughly for so long. And, well, even DK is starting to feel the heat a little bit. It's only the preseason is the good news for them, but as DK is taken off the mound for Tato, well, we'll have to see if they can keep
Tato.
that. We'll have to see if they can keep that 5-run gap to a 5-run gap. Monty Mole, good hit, not good enough. Double play as Hammerbow turns that one. That means that it's up to Diddy Kong as the last possible out for this game for the Revenge. No. Also grounds out to Hammerbow. The bomb does not go off in time.
Former fans of the Musicians, current fans of the Wilds can at least be happy seeing Tato, our complete game girl, pitching on the mound again and immediately getting 3 up, 3 down. It is a small bit of solace, a drop of water in this desert of scoreless innings.
Well, Monty Mole, pressure is on. Actually, I would argue pressure is off as a great double play from Brown Critter Tato's bat clears the bases. If the Wilds want this game, they're going to have to score 5 with no mistakes as batter number 5 or 6 in their lineup comes up. Baby DK does hit a good single, but they have a lot of weaker batters to go before they can get back to a DK level player, to a Hammerbow level player. Tiny Kong now charges, contact, Brown Critter catches, and the Revenge Tour starts as Diddy Kong's team, with home field advantage, takes down the Wilds.
That's exactly what they wanted to do. They came into the season wanting it. They get it in the preseason. I doubt they're done, Willie. That was an impressive showing from the Diddy Kong's Revenge, and they're telling the entire league it's time to take them seriously. Complete game. First complete game of the season. Scoreless. Not a no-hitter, but scoreless. 9 innings.
Can we also talk about the fact that Diddy Kong was awarded with MVP honors in his first game as part of the Revenge Tour? None of this was planned on purpose. I need this to be so emphasized. The fact that Diddy Kong versus Donkey Kong was the first game of the preseason and that Diddy Kong managed to get MVP is absurd.
And a call out to the Wilds from the Revenge. I can't describe it as anything else. Diddy Kong saying, I'm better without you than you are without me. We made it to the finals together. You lost in the quarters when I was gone. I can do it without you, but you can't do it without me, and it is up to the Wilds to prove them wrong. How did we end up with a wrestling storyline, Willie?
I don't know. What I can tell you is that the Revenge did have some advantages going into this game. They did have home field advantage, and they took the Wilds to a very defensively focused map. Paratroopa and Paragoomba get my honors for MVP after shutting down multiple good home run attempts from the Wilds. This very easily could have been a story much like the Monarchs versus the Monsters. It could have been a story very much like the Infernos versus the Flowers, but no. Stadium quality outfielders, the Revenge, turn around and show that there is room for defensive play in this type of league. Now, of course, we have to say that with the caveat that their big break offensively came from a big hitter, Brown Critter, turning around and saying, this is my league too. But we'll have to see where this squad goes. And, of course, it's the first game of the preseason. Lots of room now for the Wilds, especially with home field advantage next play day, to figure their kinks out. Silver Lily, do you have any comments about the league as a whole as we head out of our first preseason day? As a reminder to everyone real quick, our second preseason day will be on Tuesday, and then our first play day will be next weekend.
I am incredibly excited for the games to come, Willie. We had some incredible showings today, some strong standout teams. 2 13-2 games. One very close 5-4 between the Eggs and the Bows. And now this shot across the bow from the Revenge to the Wilds. Shutting them down. Shutting out DK, Funky, and Hammer Bro. On a defensive field, but shutting them down and scoring 5 in return. I think we are looking at a very different league from last season. And that is terrifying and exciting.
We'll have to see how teams shake out. Of course, there wasn't a lot of trading. Most of the trading that has happened so far was the Bows and the Eggs. I had to keep track. Now, I want to be very clear. It was the Bows and the Eggs trading, not the Eggs and the Bows trading, because when the Bows traded with the Eggs, they became the Eggs. And when the Eggs traded with the Bows, they became the Bows. But we saw some trades between those teams. That was the closest game that we had with a 4-5. We saw a little bit of trading between the Infernos and the Monarchs. Some extremely light trades across the board. Maybe we'll see some more serious reworks of some teams heading into our second preseason playday. But for now, Baseball is back, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this Playday in Grand Slam Galaxy. I will see you all in Season 2. Any last sign-offs before we go, Silver Lily?
Nope, I'm out.
Nope.
I'm out.
Nope.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And until next time, I need to think of a better slogan than play ball. I've never liked play ball. I kind of like play ball as a sign-off, but it doesn't really make sense to me because play ball is what you say at the start, and like this is the end of it, and I should click the stop streaming button. Goodbye, everybody.